Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to John and Dylan Online. My name is Dylan Gott.
And my name is John Hastings, and this week we're talking about someone who is suddenly Susan's friend. That's right. It's a person that we professionally don't really give a shit about, even though she defined alternative comedy somehow. Let's all clap our flaps for fucking Kathy Griffin.
Did she define alternative comedy, Jonathan?
In the 1990s, alternative comedy, quote unquote, in America was launched specifically when Dana Gould, Janine Garofalo, and Kathy Griffin started hosting a show at Big and Tall Books, which became Uncabaret, which spun off into Luna Park, and then became what the fuck is it called now? Largo in Los Angeles. It is like the comedians of comedy, all of that sort of stuff can be traced specifically to that show. That vibe, the whole thing of like 90s comedians not really preparing and having notebooks is literally Kathy Griffin and Janine Garofalo. That's their styles. Kathy Griffin's style is she literally comes on and talks about her day in this very sort of like bitchy specific way, and is sort of an evolution of Joan Rivers. Go ahead, Dylan.
Oh, I just mean like if you listen to her stuff, her joke that was on Seinfeld that got her to have the second episode where she was featured was just about how she was mad at Jerry and a style that I see a lot now, which is basically you say, you build up that you are mad at them, so the audience is expecting a confrontation, and then you just like, oh, this is all happening in my head, by the way. He has no idea any of this is happening. So, which gets a huge laugh at the time, but it's like, yeah, that is 1993. She's doing that, and it's like
It's a little bit later, but yeah, no, it's all cyclical, and it's
still
like,
used now. Like,
oh my god, it's hugely like Kathy Griffin is one of those people where she's sort of those missing pieces in history culturally, because they're sort of like, where did this all come from? But like in the way that Joan Rivers isn't really sort of remembered, but there's a huge amount of things that Joan Rivers created, such as the red carpet interview that we just act like has always been a thing, but it was no, like, specific people were like, here's what we're gonna do now. Like Kathy Griffin, I don't think is good at, how do I say this? Kathy Griffin has never made me laugh, but it is a style of comedy that I understand people enjoy. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, it's also like it's like that, like kind of like not devoid of punchlines, but like it's a lot more situational than. And stand up didn't used to be situational at all. It was like Henny Youngman talking about how he wants to blast his fucking wife and her mom in the face.
Yeah. I think that was, yeah, he kept talking about how he shot up his car. That was Henny Youngman, right? Set himself on fire after smoking a bunch of crack.
Take my wife, please, so I don't kill her. That
Yeah,
was the original catchphrase.
take my wife. I smoke cocaine, so if she's still around, I'll try and sell her for cocaine. I'm Henny Youngman.
But that's got a lot more zingity zang to it. Like the Richard Pryor jokes are like, I caught myself. No one wouldn't listen to a story about like, yeah, I fucked up smoking crack and I lit my head on
Funny.
fire. Versus Kathy Griffin's like, hey, I have a feud with the barista around the corner, but
Yeah,
they don't know what's happening because they keep on putting their index finger too close to the rim of my cup. Like that's
Dylan
Kathy Griffin.
has nailed it. She is telling a made up incident in her head with the same intensity Richard Pryor talks about literally lighting himself on fire. And the reason why she does that is if you read about Kathy Griffin's childhood, get ready to get ready to scream, Dylan. Dylan, did you read about it at all?
No.
Oh
Fill me,
God.
John. Fill me. Cream pie me with knowledge.
So basically she is like the youngest of a million kids in a fucking ritzy neighborhood in suburban Chicago. Her All of her brothers and sisters are between like 15 and 20 years older than her. She was like clearly a surprise. Her parents are like that exhausted, like, all right, well, we have another kid, and what we really have is a dog that is going to probably do some drugs in college. All right, rock on. And her older brother seems like a real fucking human piece of shit, like an absolute monster. Later convicted and admitted to being a pedophile, died on the streets as a junkie. Kathy Griffin has said things like, "Until he died, I lived in fear of my older brother." She confessed to her parents later in life, oh, he used to sneak into bed with me and just whisper into my ear. And her parents were like, oh, You should know he was a pedophile. And she was like, what the fuck? There was like weird, very bizarre communication problems between her and her parents. It doesn't really seem like there's a real connection coming from the parents to her. So that's why Kathy Griffin seems to has this very intense, desperate energy, is that I'm pretty sure her entire childhood was hello, and then people get the fuck away from me, kid. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Kathy Griffin has some deep-seated problems made much worse by the fact that she did this weird joke in 2017 and then the FBI tried to shoot her.
Okay, so let's do it. We're like 3 minutes in the episode. Kathy Griffin is interesting because her whole career is pretty between the lines that she's successful. She's a character on Suddenly Susan. I guess she doesn't get the credit for being as important to stand up because she was kind of so
That's exactly like
industry successful so immediately. Do you know what I mean? Like she didn't have
yes,
time to like get an underground following like Big Fat Patton Oswalt or disgusting Janine Garofalo.
exactly correct. How dare you say that about Jeanine Garofalo? My number one celeb crush, 1999 through 2024.
I know. I just mean we get some criticism for being too left wing, so I don't want people out there to be fucking.
Oh, I'm not into the garoff for the politics. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. All right, whatever.
I'm
Anyway,
into
what's
it
the
for
difference
those.
here? I just think
Yeah,
both sides have some points.
as long as those points are nipples on tits. You know what I'm saying? Ah, wow, wow, wow. Hoo-ja, hoo-ja,
Straight
hoo-ja.
centrist.
Yeah,
Fuck.
white, not in that order.
White.
Yeah.
Straight centrist.
Fuck.
Can I rent your dog?
Yeah,
For
that's
sucking.
five. Five. Yeah. Fuck centrist. White, nice dog. I forgot what the fifth one was.
White.
White again.
White so much. Anyway, John, as a white man,
Thank you for stressing
explain
that.
to me explain to me Kathy Griffin's whole career right now. Take an hour to do it.
Kathy Griffin is fascinating because basically Kathy Griffin comes around in a time when Kathy Griffin's a bit like professional wrestling in that she is used as a media and big celebrity for new media formats. So she's on Brooke Shields' sitcom in a time where sitcoms are the fucking shit. She's on NBC Must See TV at the height of Seinfeld and Friends. So this show has no cultural impact and is not remembered, but much like Caroline in the City, it lives rent free in every person who was a teenager at that time because we just had it on in the background when we were supposed to doing math homework. We're looking at them.
Caroline in the City. I hadn't thought about that in years.
Oh my God. Caroline in the City just fully changes to two different TV shows. I watched all this shit because I'm a weird man, and you know why? I was a weird kid too.
Caroline and what is it? King of Queens. What's the other
King of
one?
the Queens was shit.
Sing.
King of Queens can eat my asshole. That show was terrible. It's unwatchable, and I will watch things. I will say I'll watch Everybody Loves Raymond. Not every episode because a lot of them are really bad. A lot of them are only watchable if you imagine that she pegs Ray in the bedroom. That's the only way that relationship makes sense, is that if they are deep-seated BDSM enthusiasts, and then you're like, oh, this power dynamic makes all the sense in the world. He is literally like, scold me. I'm going on to my naughty step, Patricia, or whatever her name is. So Kathy Griffin is basically
Tease
on that
me, you're a
sitcom.
plastic.
She's on that sitcom. She goes from another sitcom. She then very smartly pivots and leans into her audience. She is very much embraced by sort of the 2000s gay, you know them, Dylan. So many long sleeve polo shirts in bright colors, so many frosted tips, harshly gelled down into a mushroom cut seeming look. You know what I'm saying? So many wraparound sunglasses that are white. And
Well,
she is the
she's
face of Bravo. She fucking is the face of Bravo. She has a whole career that I had no idea about. This whole show called Life on the D List. And she was basically the one that nailed it, which is basically like she used sitcom development deals to build up her name. She launches her own brand and becomes an industry on Bravo. So basically, Bravo in this era was what podcasts are now, in that there are full celebrities that I have no idea exist. I have no idea who some of these people. I don't know who any of the wives of the houses are. I don't know. Andy Cohen, I know as is just a man who posts very weird social media content with his kids.
she has one album title that I want to steal straight up. It's called "Look at My Butt Crack." Anyway, Kathy Griffin on Bravo, exactly what you said. I had no idea about this. She has
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. She has fucking 18 stand-up specials on Bravo,
That's a world
20
record.
total.
She's the most stand-up specials ever,
Because
according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Because
yeah,
if you don't write
because it's
material,
conversational style. Exactly. She's like, and also it's like, you know how this is so crazy about you used to get paid for every attempt to be entertaining, and now you don't get paid for anything
that's
because
I've
like
tattooed that on my fucking face. Someone come over and punch me in the
Kathy Griffin's
penis.
just a vlogger.
Yes,
One of those guys
Kathy
who did
Griffin.
like lifestyle vlog. Here's what happened today, and they have like a funny story, and it's like got like four punchlines.
Dylan, I'll break it down even more granular. Kathy Griffin invented monetizing her trauma. Her entire career is her saying to her parents, could you please acknowledge me? And the entire world is going, what? Did someone make a noise? Like, do you understand? Do you understand how insane this all
Yeah,
is?
she's
Like,
she's like if you just add the phrase. It's so funny because I guess it becomes like everyone's act now if you just add the phrase "my anxiety" to it. But it's just like she's just talking about being anxious, but in the 90s. So everyone's like, oh, I guess she's fucked in the head.
yeah, I guess she's a
Before they
fucking
had a word for it.
idiot. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Just
Wait,
don't worry about it, you short bitch.
what happened in your childhood? Oh, my older brother used to come and do heroin in front of me and confess his crimes. Well, you're not over that yet? When did that happen? It happened yesterday. That was a full 12
But
hours.
that's
Fucking
understandable. I was the youngest by however many years. My older siblings were all fucked up. My parents are successful, so they just didn't really pay attention.
yeah.
Versus, you know, people like I have a lot of anxiety because my father pays too much attention to me. Not in the bad way. He just always wants to go out for lunch. I'm
Yeah.
full, Dad.
But
Like that's
he now wants me to pay though, and that makes me very nervous.
if you're gonna monetize your trauma, you gotta like have a bad childhood. A lot of people talking about their anxiety and mental shit where it's like, yeah, man, we all die.
Oh, listen.
Strap up, stand with your shit, and get the fuck a job, god damn it.
I disagree with you entirely. There is something about, especially because I've had a couple of real
Put a belt
humdinger
on,
years.
even when
I
you're
love it.
naked,
No, no, I disagree.
stand when you shit in the tub, piss in the urinal, dump in the sink, get a job.
I watched a comedian do a full 20-minute bit about the hardest thing in their year was they didn't get yet another television show, and the lack of self-awareness was gorgeous.
20 minutes. Yeah, man. I mean, but it is difficult when you get like I assume Kathy Griffin like had such a bad childhood and then but your life has been so seemingly good for so long that it's
Well, it hasn't. It hasn't. Like her life is littered with these failed marriages. Like you can clear. Like she has. Like she's.
is.
Like, that's right. I agree. As a divorced man, you get one mistake.
Yeah, you got your mulligan.
Yeah.
Now Christ will
Excuse
love you.
Excuse me, Kathy. I didn't realize you were being my dad. I didn't realize you were being my dad. I thought you wanted to
No,
be like John, not like John's dad.
it's although we did yell the word white a bunch in this, I think it should
Whoa.
be God doesn't love you. There you go. I think
Whoa.
no matter what, you shouldn't say Christ because that is too all over the place. If you have more than one divorce, no matter what religion you're applying it to, God? No, 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 like you. John, continue.
I mean, I gotta tell you, I've been enjoying watching Dylan slide to the center.
I'm a
yeah,
centrist. I wear a brown shirt and I beat up Antifa.
yeah. I'm a centrist. I believe that men are in the center. No one else. Men that look like
I
me.
wear specific shirts like me and my friends do with the same logo on them.
Yeah.
And if someone's smaller than me, we attack the center.
I'm open to all forms of opinion that agree with me specifically, and I don't acknowledge the other ones. It's called freedom.
There you go. John,
Dylan.
Kathy Griffin, if she came
Woo.
over right now, would you say hi?
Yeah. I think Kathy Griffin, yeah, Kathy Griffin, like I guarantee Kathy Griffin would be really quiet for a little bit and then would immediately text you, thank you for a good time. She is before she even gets in the Uber to leave your property, if she's come over for a meal, you're getting a thank you so much text. The level of care she's putting into making sure you know she had a good time. Holy shit, watch the fuck out.
Well, she is like a big brassy woman, which I think you don't. That's
She's a
why.
big, but I will say she's a big brassy woman, but it is so like you just read one line of her Wikipedia and you're like, oh, that's masking insecurity. You know what I mean? Like you're so
Oh yeah, of course.
course.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I was more speaking to the fact about why she doesn't get her due with alt comedy because maybe even Dana Gould is an interesting thing where Dana Gould's just kind of like a normal comedian now. Definitely Janine Garofalo like laid into like that alternative look at least, whereas Kathy Griffin was just like I just want to be accepted.
Yeah, Kathy. Well, the thing is that Kathy Griffin's actual performance style is very much of the era, but her presentation style was so old school and glitzy. You've absolutely nailed it. It didn't
Yes.
fit into what they thought they were looking for. So, bye bye.
But it's interesting, like maybe you say, "Oh, you want to get pretentious?"
Yeah.
Okay, let's get pretentious. Maybe
Look
Kathy
where I'm
Griffin.
recording from.
Oh yeah, your bassinet.
Ma
Not a
oui.
bassinet at all.
Hello.
Uh, maybe Kathy Griffin's like one of those connective bands. Like I listened to a thing on the Stooges, and they talked about how the Stooges was punk rock, but it's like you listen to it and it's like that's just what rock music sounds like in the 90s, but they're doing it in the 60s. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's why it's actually really ahead of its time rather than I would say a guy like David Cross who's doing it also in the uniform that you have to do it in to be recognized as alternative. Like
So here's what I
Cross
would
is dressing like he's in fucking Soundgarden and then doing stand up versus Kathy Griffin's just like being Kathy Griffin all over the place.
yeah, you to 100% put a nail on this point. Dana Gould, the reason why Dana Gould feels like a regular stand-up now is Dana Gould's style of stand-up has become the bog standard stand-up, which is a
Yeah, it's like Kathy
very
Griffin.
very openly emotional, connected person, like deeply speaking about their
No
lives.
bar closer.
No bar closer. Call back to our Patreon episode, which is truly a thing which doesn't
Oh
exist
yeah, I
anymore.
got reminded of a bar closer I saw.
Okay, but look, we need to explain what they are because not everyone listens to our fucking Patreon, which is there is a type of comedian that no longer exists, which is they would basically have one-liners and whatever, but they would have a 10 to 20 minute closing bit that would possibly involve costumes, musical cues.
Yep.
Greg Morton has a fucking crazy one where he impersonates various singers and like as the opening act you have to participate in it. Oh boy, does it.
That it's like you're doing stand up, it's normal. And then you have like 10-minute, yeah, song and dance, something that just basically is like, you pay $20 to see stand up, you pay 40 to see me because I do cartwheels and suck my own dick for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, and it can be elaborate. Another one that is a classic is first Canadian in space, puts on a space helmet, takes out of a beer from his lapel coat jacket, and tried it at the Comedy Store in London. And as soon as the music hit, a guy yelled, "Don't tell me you're going to take out a beer out of your lapel jacket pocket." And the guy went through with the bit. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I've heard that story a bunch of different ways, which was he panically looked at the guy, but the music was already on. He's like, I guess gotta fucking do it. But the guy said it. This is the first Canadian in space. Yeah. And then the way it was told to me was the guy went, what, are you going to drink a beer? And he was like, oh, fuck. Anyway,
I asked the guy, just to be clear,
yeah.
I asked the sound guy who was there because I was like, I want clarification. And he went, "This is the first Canadian space." And a guy yelled, "Don't tell me you're going to drink a fucking beer." And he literally went, and went through the whole thing.
Fuck, man. I honestly like that sucks.
Take the L.
That
Take it.
because that
Just
is back
fucking
then,
walk off stage, baby.
back then that he lost thousands and thousands of dollars. That one guy took. I mean, not that it would have been fun.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. The whole he opened with a Century 21 real estate company joke. He wasn't getting past.
So, here's what happened. A guy had been just his wife had just left him, and then he did
Oh
20 to 30 minutes of tight crying pretty much on stage. Like she wants to fucking have
remember
she can
this.
fucking have the goddamn house. And then the audience was like, this is bad. And then he was like, did his bar closer. What would it be like if Robert De Niro was in fucking Back to the Future and then set to music, smashed for the last 10 while clearly having just cried.
Oh my God. I
Now
think I
that's
know
comedy,
I
baby.
think the same guy doing a show that was you, me. It was the show where you left a full pack of cigarettes in my car and I drove back to give them to you because I'm the best man in the world. I am one of the best people in the world. And this headliner, and he had just been caught cheating on yet another wife and was in the midst of having to move back in with his parents. And all he wanted to do was talk about wrestling in the green room, and then went out and delivered material about still being married to such depressive silence, and then went, let me give you the closer, and then just did a fuckload of Sopranos impressions, and then we were fucking out of there, baby.
Oh yeah, baby. That guy's great. Anyway, so Kathy Griffin, we should just talked about, sorry, Kathy Griffin and why we're doing this episode essentially, which is she's in cruise control. She wins Emmys for her show called Life on the D List.
Oh,
Like you
like
said, she's like because of the expansion of cable. I don't know what the best time money wise for entertainment was, but I mean,
this
likely
was one of
probably
them.
like cable expansion where they're paying a fucking ass load of money because people will still watch Bravo. So it's kind of like
Well,
right
it's this
before
interesting
social
thing.
media because every
Yes.
entertainment has been partitioned, but people still have money to invest.
Also, it's there's ad revenue still coming in. The internet has not killed that as well. Kathy Griffin has enough of a brand because she was on Seinfeld and Suddenly Susan that she's valuable to the cable companies because she's legitimizing them while they're providing her with a platform. So it's a very symbiotic and really good relationship. Essentially, what Andy Cohen is to Bravo now, he's literally doing an impression of Kathy Griffin. He just full on basically just like he you made it weird to Mark Maron's WTF'd Kathy Griffin.
Okay, yeah. So, but she's like doing great still.
Doing great. And then Donald Trump gets elected and she does a photo
Yeah. Well, she
like,
goes full. She fucking hates him, but in like the way of like she's like the voice of the
oh
like
boy.
liberal mom type thing. And then she does a photo shoot where she's holding his head and
She's holding his
it's just
mask
covered in blood.
covered in ketchup. It's so fucking stupid. What happened to her should not have happened, but it was
But that
so
photo shoot, though,
stupid.
to be
It's so
fair,
stupid. It's so stupid. I
it's
completely agree
fucking
with you.
crazy that you would do that.
Because it
I
is the
don't even
president of the
mean this. I
United
don't
States.
even
I
mean this
completely
because
agree
like
with
it's
you.
anti-Trump. I don't mean because it's anti-Trump. I
It's the
mean
president.
because
Are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead.
oh, dude, I wasn't even saying personal safety. This is
Mm.
after fucking Charlottesville. You know this guy
But
is
this,
directly connected to right-wing militants. You know the reason he got into office is because people.
I'm going
I
to
mean,
call you up on that. That
obviously,
is
I'm not
not correct.
a
I don't
Johnny
think.
T
Hang
guy.
on.
No, I'm gonna talk. Not
Good.
because he's not because he got it, because people fucking believe in this guy and fucking love him and believe in what he's saying. That's why
I,
this guy got in. And you're gonna
I,
fucking stand there and be like, cut his fucking like that's fucking your own safety, your family's safety.
I completely and totally agree with you. What I'm saying is, I don't think that we were not as aware of what was going on then that we are now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was, yes, Charlottesville, but a lot of people were like, Charlotte, what's her? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, I'm sure Kathy Griffin did not Kathy Griffin in her head is Donald Trump is still the host of The Apprentice. Not to your point, Donald Trump is the stupid of all possibilities when it comes to a like neo-fascist Christian dictator, but it's the most annoying version where he's not actually aware of that. It's just this weird narcissistic death spiral because everything's just boring and annoying. Like, it's just, you're so right. It's her personal safety was not being taken into account by herself, and also she's just not understanding the world that we were now in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find when the exact photo was, but it was like 2017, wasn't it? So people knew about Trump.
It was
Like
late 2017. I'm gonna say, like, I feel like
the word was
it's
out that Trump is like a fucking. People thought when he got elected that it was this was like holy fuck, he's gonna like trying to abolish term limits, and he was already doing crazy shit.
Where? Oh my God! Like it was that night he got elected in London was the craziest thing. I'll never forget a woman screaming in my face, "How could you do this?" And I was like, "I'm Canadian," and she just was like, "Same difference." And I was just like, "Yeah, this is the world's fucked. This is just going to be so irritating for years." And that was right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good. And people, this is the thing. She lost a fuck ton of work. Whenever anyone talks about how like you can be canceled for anything, she was literally canceled for one photo.
The
Like she didn't commit
FBI,
a
she was,
crime.
yeah, correct. Yeah, she didn't do a crime. The FBI investigated her for years. She was on the no-fly list. She's appeared on a variety of different bomber lists. Her life keeps having to get shut down. She has to have private security. Like, yeah, like her life is never going to be the same. She's like not as, it's not to the same level of Salman Rushdie, but she'll have a bodyguard for the rest of her life because of this.
I can't believe that you would take that. I mean, people. I mean, in watching and researching for this episode, I saw a lot of people say the exact same thing I'm saying. But I can't even believe just for your own personal safety, you would take that photo.
But the thing with, and this is not a defense of it, but it's also like
No, just try and
comedian.
explain it.
Just explain the photo. Explain her logic. I know exactly what her logic was. I don't like this guy. I'm a fun, cool, creative artist. This is fun, cool, creative art. Where it's like, no, it's my big problem with comedians always is when comedians get out of their lane and they're like, not only am I a comedian, I'm a truth teller. And that is Kathy Griffin thought she like, I'm going to do this. This is a crazy, amazing set. Like the way she presents it. And this is not, she didn't deserve anything that she got, but it's that same thing of like, just take a second and be like, I'm the fucking person that goes on Bravo and is like, look at this woman's hiney. Ick. Like, be careful that the same license you're going to be given to go after what's her tits from the Beverly Hills Real Housewives is not going to be extended to exactly you're correct. A man who is in command of the Patriot legions of douchebag.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just,
the
but it's
guy
also,
who's the guy who fucking got elected on the back of using like wink wink nudge nudge fucking not even wink wink just
yeah, what
fucking
do you,
shove let's fucking throw him over the fucking bridge like
yeah, the other Republicans were angry at him because they were like, we're going to wink, wink, nudge, nudge like we always do. And he was like, how about we just kill him though? And everyone's like, oh, for fuck's
yeah
sake.
push yeah
Yeah.
and then she was doing like and that's the crazy thing she was doing like the mom Trump like Trump's that orange
Oh,
pumpkin
she,
man
yeah,
like she was doing that lame shit and then she's like here's his fucking head on a pike.
yeah. You know, I like, and it's again, she didn't deserve anything that she would have gotten. No one was going, where's fucking Kathy Griffin's First Amendment rights, which were absolutely violated. And it's all like, you know what I'm saying? It's also this weird time of you can't like just be like, Kathy, was that the smartest way to get your point across? You know what I'm saying? Because everyone went so fucking nuts. Because it was also this weird sort of time of like, it was at the height of cancel culture, and it was also the time I think people realized that on both sides of an ideological divide, this sort of tactics could be used to really impact someone's life and send a message to people that disagree with you. Do you know what I'm saying? There's consequences to speaking out. Like it's a really crazy big moment, and it is.
And it is also one of the only times I do agree with people like who like if someone if Jim Brewer is going on there with fucking Bernie Sanders' head covered in blood, everyone would be like, "What the fuck?" So obviously, he's got more of a connection to like militant whatever, like right wing people like guns more than fucking Kathy Griffin and her fan base. But
Yeah.
people are right where it's like if
Here's
that
my
was
question.
fucking yeah.
I don't think it would happen now. If she did the exact same thing right now, people would be like, Kathy, you're dumb. Yeah, it's weird. Although she is bouncing back. I started watching a stand-up special of hers that's posted on YouTube that has a lot of views. Also,
Oh, she has 2 million people following her on X.
I heard she's also a TikTok star now.
Of course she is. She's perfect for TikTok.
I
She's like
also,
that kind of like bubbly fucking
yeah, she
shit.
really is. I got to tell you this. I have to commend Kathy Griffin on something that she did not go hard QAnon after what happened to her with that Trump mask. Like there is a world in which Kathy Griffin looked in the mirror and went, Time to make the real money. You know what I mean? And just fucking, if she had pivoted hard and been actually like, actually, I'm going to cover a Trump mask in kisses because I'm right wing now, she would be a billionaire. Like, if you understand, she would be show would be called Gutfeld and Griffin, and they would be on like this, and it would be fucking nuts.
I don't
I'm going to
know
say this right
though.
now. Kathy Griffin, do yourself a favor. If anyone should treat themselves to that disgusting pile of money, Kathy Griffin, you've been through a lot. Your parents clearly don't like you at all. I say it. Just fake it for 5 years. Sign like a contract that said it was all bullshit. Just go nuts. You know what I mean? Work for Fox News, meet Trump, have sex with Trump probably, shit on Trump's chest, eat the shit, get paid $8.5 billion in Trump tokens, which are somehow not even worth. You actually end up owing him money. I don't know what happens, but yeah, go for
No,
it,
I mean,
Kath.
if she tried to go right wing, Trump would be like, she has to offer herself to me completely nude, and I have to say that's gross. That would
Yeah,
be his deal.
her and Ron DeSantis are going to fight nude in a fire. Winner becomes my vice president
Ron the
nominee. Loser
scientist?
becomes.
That's sick.
Oh, fuck, you fucking got him. Loser becomes the attorney general.
No, you said Ron the scientist. Anyway,
Did I call him Ron
you
DeScientist?
call him Ron the scientist. Anyway,
That's what I call him now.
why do you think that? I think the right wing train of automatic money is done because I think there's too much competition now. I think that was a thing that very much was maybe peaked 5 years ago, but I think too many people do the right wing thing now. I'm currently watching a couple
It's coming
comedians
to its
try
end.
it and
Yeah,
fail.
it is coming to its end, and I would like the names of those comedians when we get offline, by the way. I'm gonna need
We
them
don't know them.
sent.
Anyway,
Do you think that
I think
matters
it's
to me
because
at all, Dylan?
if we're gonna talk about that, I think it's like because guys like Shane Gillis are clearly like
They're
troll
just
adjacent,
yeah.
and it doesn't matter.
You're completely and totally right. It is over now. It has become a bit of a trope. It's starting to vibe. We're just what it is we're in that period of time that it has happened when like Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice Clay were hugely popular the first time. In that the culture has swung mad bro, and in the time of bros, you can't pivot hard right because they're gonna be like, bro, we don't talk about politics. We talk about natty ices. Do you want a natty ice? No, I want to talk about Foucault. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Bro,
And I'm kind
we're
of
listening.
I'm glad we're back.
I want to listen. I want to listen to the song "What a Crazy Game of Poker" by OAR, and I want to drink warm light beers.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like fucking because I guess this is what all the young kids nowadays. It
Woo!
reminds me of fucking '94. We got a lot of solid one-hit wonders going on.
Yeah, good point. We are getting a
You know
lot,
what
a
I
lot,
mean?
a lot of, a lot
President
of
of the United
versions of
States of
Len.
America. Yeah, a lot of we're getting our lens back.
Get our fucking yeah. Some people, how Wanda got our groove back. Let me tell you what elder millennials are doing. We're getting Len up in your ass.
I mean, people are starting to like new metal again. We might get a new metal full
Starting.
revival. Hell yeah.
I'm going to say this right now. No band deserves praise more than Limp Bizkit for knowing exactly who they are. I will say, I will go to my grave, or every other band will try and be like, actually, we're artists. Limp Bizkit will go, we have more than one song about how vaginas are cool to fuck. We are exactly who you think we are. I'm going to dress like an old man. I don't give a shit. Like, it is the best. They're currently on their Go West tour, and they're just dressed like cowboys playing their hits. What more do you want from a band that has a song called Break Stuff? And what's that song about? It's about how sometimes you want to break things.
Well, and the other thing about Limp Bizkit is they did kind of lose track towards the end of their reign, which was Wes Borland left the band, and then Fred Durst got a gym membership and started doing videos with his shirt off, and that was crazy because that was like Significant Other, everyone listened to, Hot Dog Flavor Water, everyone listened to. I forget what the fourth one is called. They were literally off the radio. Then, like they were like, no one bought anything. They were done now.
Yeah, no one talks about this, but basically, if you're a band and you appeared at WrestleMania before WrestleMania hit into the 30s, say goodbye to your career. You know what I mean?
I mean, not Kid Rock. He did the fucking right wing pivot before.
I mean,
Kid
yeah, but
Rock, I guess, because
Kid Rock was a
he brought
special case
black
because
music, yeah, and then completely turned on that entire culture. Good for him.
Kid Rock is crazy because Kid Rock, he's like, I'm the American badass. I've written a song about how I'm an American badass, and that song has got no original music. It's just the Metallica song "Sad but True," and it's like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
but it's a sample because he was still kind of a rapper at that time, and
Yeah, before
then
he wrote He wrote a song with Sheryl Crow called Picture, which let me say this right now, as a man who's gone through a divorce, I'll listen to that fucking song. I'll look out
Really?
a window, and then I'll
That
think the
song makes
song.
me fucking puke.
Yeah, the song is. Then you didn't let me finish my joke, and then I'll be
This is
like,
what I
then
hate.
I'm going to turn this fucking song off and put on "Fear of the Dark" by Iron Maiden. That's how you get through. Do do
Here's
do
the
do 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 do
here's
do
how you do a
do
metal
do do
album.
do do.
Can I tell
Go
you guys
ahead.
this on this
Yes, I want to
Kathy
hear it.
Griffin episode?
Go ahead, Dylan. Preach.
80s metal. Here's how 80s metal went. It was like a bunch of fucking fast songs. Then you do a ballad about how some girl left you and you're
Or you're trapped in something, or there's some sort of impediment to your journey. It's either a girl left you, or you're like, and then I can't get past this boulder for some reason.
see that was my point was that
Oh,
there's a
sorry.
second type of ballad, which is you're either trapped. See,
There's a
that was
fucking
my
bridge
point
coming up.
was
Oh,
that there's
sorry,
a second
yeah.
type of
Fucking
ballad,
orc's gonna
which
kill
is
you.
you're either
Or how
trapped.
Slayer did it,
There's a
where all the
fucking
songs are
bridge you're
about
coming
killing
up to, you
people,
don't know if
and then
the
one of the
fucking orc's gonna
songs
kill
is
you. About how you're going to torture someone. That's
Yep,
how you do a fucking album.
that's
It's
correct.
slow because torture is slow.
As usual, do you know who's nailed it? Dylan Gott. You want to make a heavy metal album? Song one, it's about how space is in the sky and you like to go there. Song two is about some figure in history that was horrific and none of the lyrics rhyme. Genghis Khan was a man and I do not think that's cool.
Oh fuck! There's a fucking
Oh, you're missing another genre, which is a song about a movie. This is a very specific. This is no
yes.
no
Well,
American
Biscuit did
metal.
that.
The Biscuit did that. Iron Maiden has done that. Iron Maiden has a song about the movie Falling Down, which if you're like, okay, why wouldn't you? Song about Braveheart called The Klansman.
When you had fucking before social media, when you didn't have to come out with shit all the time, and you could just be like, every 2 years we're gonna drop a fucking sick ass album. You're gonna buy it. All our B-sides are fucking dumb, and you're gonna love it because you love us. Here's some fucking weird shit to listen to. That was fucking. Primus was great for that. Limp Bizkit tried to reinvent how you do albums because instead of ballads, they would just have full rap songs for a minute.
Or skits,
But then
and
they went too far with hot dog flavored water. I remember how when I bought that album, I couldn't. Them and Smash Mouth were the two albums I bought where I was like, I guess sometimes
good for.
it's bad.
Can I say this right now? Do you know who
Smash Mouth's second
fucking?
album, third Limp Bizkit's third album? I was like, how can this suck? Why did they betray me?
Let me say this right now. Do you know who came out of the fucking puss winning from day one? That man right there, Dylan Gott.
Me and Chuck Sheen.
Yeah, you, Chucky Sheen.
Winning.
No. First of all, it goes Dylan, then Chuck Sheen. Because Chuck Sheen took that moment when he was weak. Do you know when that moment was? When he stopped smoking crack. I'm going to say that right now. He stopped smoking crack. Although the fact that we lived relatively close to each other, and in the pandemic, he apparently liked to get tuned up and go to the McDonald's for a chat. And that just makes me real happy.
Here's the other thing Kathy Griffin did.
Wow.
Hard pivot off the fun conversation we were having about heavy metal. She bought all her stand-up specials back. Off the fun conversation we were having about heavy metal.
Oh, so fucking smart. Put them on YouTube.
And,
holy fuck.
Here's the other thing she did is she is on a tour right now, and I didn't realize how still everyone likes Kathy Griffin because it's mostly sold out. And I think it's in May. I looked it up. It's like in Toronto. It's like a 3,000 seat theater, and she's playing Toronto and London. And I know that's
crazy.
A 3,000 seat theater, like, and she's playing Toronto and London. So far, I know that people are pretty used to driving. So it's like if you put a show in Toronto, people from London would drive to the show because they're just so used to driving long distances. So I mean, that's real. I mean,
that's in fact you're in.
Back. It's 7 years later. As weird as it is, and the type of cancellation she went through, it's like she's pretty much bounced back. And like I said, she didn't like. This is before QAnon. There is a before and after QAnon with like fucking up as a left wing person. So she didn't like. She doesn't have someone like eating all
pedophile. Yeah, that's crazy. That's such a good point. Yeah, she got it right under the wire of QAnon. So basically, the QAnon people would be like, "Well, I hate her, but she's not a pedophile. She's just a woman, then that's bad." You know what? That's a fascinating.
Or they just don't know who she is because she's like, yeah, she was probably a psyop from the beginning.
Oh God,
that's such an age of QAnon.
Woo!
Oh fuck.
Although her time in the doghouse would not have been nearly been as long. Like it's this interesting sort of balance
Yeah, but
where
we would get emails that were just her social security number and address every day for 2 months.
wait, you don't have Kathy Griffin's social security number?
I don't
Where do
how it
you who do
works.
you think's paying for this fucking hotel, baby?
So yes, that's it.
Guys, goodbye.
No, because the next one we're gonna talk about somebody. One
Yeah,
moment.
tell me who that is.
Explain
Um,
to the people that we have
ladies and
two
gentlemen,
great people review us.
we got a Patreon. How about you head on over there, give us some money, rate, review, subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. We enjoy doing this podcast for you. So how about you fucking help
Oh
us out?
yeah, baby. We're talking about a real Kathy Griffin this time. We're talking about the game, the book, the
Oh,
game.
yeah, we're talking about the game. Very excited. By the way, fun fact about the game, I've met some people that were featured in the game, and I think so has Dylan, because one of them used to hang out at the Labyrinth in Toronto, a bar where Dylan's been overserved so many times and both ankles are weak as a result.
Yeah, I broke both my ankles at that bar, separate occasions.
Both on your birthday? I know one was on your birthday. One was on your
One was on my
birthday.
birthday, one was not.
Oh, I thought we both were on your birthday. I know one was on your
One was on
birthday.
$3 rum and coke night. I chugged.
Wasn't that also your birthday? Oh, I've combined the stories then.
No, I chugged 10 rum and cokes out of a serving tray because I spilled them all and then I chugged them. And then the bouncer went, "That's cool. Go back to the bar." And I went, "Okay."
Yeah. Oh, here's something no one talks about the post 2008 years. You know what happened then? You could just fucking party, bro. Oh, are you in a bar in the downtown core of the city? Well, this bouncer has a drink and drugs problem. So he is, and it's a weekday. So he is not trying at all. Woo, 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 woo,
Like we
woo,
talked about
woo.
this in the Nancy Grace episode, but back when like they just wouldn't make weed legal, so it was just Yak City in the streets every fucking Friday.
Oh, yeah,
Hell
baby.
yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Just getting overserved at Ronnie's on delirium tremens beer with my at the time
Oh.
girlfriend Harriet. Oh, let's have a full argument because we both had five 17% beers. Time to hash out our communication. No, you need to listen.
Yeah,
Oh,
you don't
fuck.
communicate with me. You're a fat hydrant whore. How about that? You fucking fire hydrant, bitch.
Yeah. Hey, no.
I'll never get an erection again because of your ugly pussy. Thank you very much. That was John Hastings' catchphrase.
Yep. It's tattooed on my back.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. I love you.